So you may have seen this viral pixel stretch trend all over social media right now, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can go about doing that so that way you can join the trend and you can jump on it because it's actually really, really easy. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is find a photo that you want to apply this effect to. My tip for it is find a photo that's kind of like straight, like your subject is going to be very straight. If it's slanted, you got to do a little bit more work, where if it's straight, it's a little bit easier. And then import it into Photoshop. All right, so what I'm working with right now is going to be this photo here in Facebook. Clearly the runner is going to be running towards base. I think it's a really good shot. And my goal is to kind of have the pixel stretch go behind him and then off to the side, right side here, which also might help kind of get rid of this guy here. So first thing you're going to want to do is you want to go up here to the top left corner and you're going to look for this object selection tool. You're going to click on that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to drag over the subject that you want Photoshop to essentially select. And then once you do that, it should create a separate mask just like that. And then you're going to hit Control J so you can copy that. So what that's going to do is going to put that individual selection onto its own separate file, which is what we want. While also keeping this original file not changed. So that way, if you have to make changes or you want to add different things, like you want to do it once, say if you wanted to do one on this guy, you in theory could do the same thing. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make sure that we are selecting the correct layer. We want that new isolated layer. All right, so what you're going to do now is you're going to go to the top left and you're going to look for this single marquee tool. So you can either use the row tool, which is going to be more horizontal, or you can use the column tool, which is going to be more vertical. Either will work. It just depends on what you want to do. So for right now, because our subject is going to be more vertical than they are horizontal, we're going to go with the column marquee tool. When you have your single column marquee tool, okay, what you can do is you're going to click onto the screen and you're going to kind of just drag this around. And then you're going to look for the area that's going to cover the most ground. So if you see here, this spot here is covering not only his leg, but it's also getting into his helmet area. And that's kind of what I'm wanting. Okay, now it doesn't cover it at the top of the helmet and that could create an issue, but we can play around with that to try to make it work. When you're here, you're going to hit Control J to copy it. And you're going to Control T to open the transform tool. And then you're going to grab the center part, hit Shift, and slide it on over. What this is going to do is create this pixel stretch effect. Now, what you can see is that the colors aren't super prominent. So I don't necessarily like that, and we're going to delete it. And we're just going to do it again. Do it until you find something you like. So I think I'm going to want something more on the right side of his helmet, simply because of the fact that it's a little bit more prominent of a color. So same thing, same process, slide it on over, bam. And I like those colors a lot more than I did previously. So now you might be like, Cain, this looks terrible. What do I do? You're just gonna take that brand new layer that you made and just drag it down below the baseball player and bam, you got that. And this already looks pretty good, but we're gonna take it to the next level. So what I'm going to do now is we're gonna hit Control T one more time. We're gonna right click over it and we're gonna go to warp. What this is going to allow us to do is completely warp it to kind of get that like swooshing effect that you're seeing everywhere. So what we can do is we can kind of bring this guy like down here and we can get like an effect like this, you know, and that looks pretty solid. Or what we can do is we can also, same thing, where you can bring this corner up here and get like this like effect that he's like coming off the screen, you know. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I like how it looks, and like this is how I'd get my final copy of this pixel stretch effect. If you like this and you want to see more, like and follow for more.